Yeah, I started recording this. We are recording this session and it will be made available at our district website www.d116.org and in our district YouTube channel. Well, it's a time to invite the master of the ceremonies for this evening. When I asked her this morning, how do you want me to introduce you? She said, Venkat, you just say my name and I'm a human being living in Qatar. Such a simple and humble personality, I can say. She's an industrial and system engineer, past president.
James Edward, District 116 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Raghavan Menon, Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Tayalan K, Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Manzoor Moideen, Immediate Past District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Rajeshwar Sundarasan, Division, Area Directors, District Officials, Club Officials, fellow Toastmasters, and Toastmasters from all over the world. A very warm good evening to you all. Here I am, Lubaba Yusuf, welcoming each one of you for the leadership lectures organized by District 116 Leadership Team. Before we start, let me read out the district mission and inform you to the flow of the program. District mission is, we build new clubs and support all the clubs in achieving excellence. The program of the session will be as follows. First of all, it's a formal inauguration by District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Raghavan Menon. After that, it's an introduction of our speaker of the day for this session by Immediate Past District, Distinguished Toastmaster Rajeshwar Sundarasan. Leadership talk by International President Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. After that, a Q&A session that will be handled by Past International Director, Distinguished Toastmaster George Thomas. Felicitation by dignitaries. Last but not least, closing remarks and vote of thanks by District Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Manzoor Moideen. It's going to be a gentle reminder to you all. I'm sure you'll be having multiple questions while listening to our International President, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. Please send it in the chat box to Past International Director, Distinguished Toastmaster George Thomas, as and when the lecture is going on. And do not wait until the end to send. It would be easy for him to handle. Please keep your questions purposeful, short, straight to the point, and relevant. Also, I kindly want to make sure that you already switched off your video, muted your microphone, and be ready for the coming session. Let's not take further, and let us start with inviting the one who leads the whole district, not other than District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Raghavan Menon. The screen is yours.
Thank you, MC Lubaba. Here we go. I declare today's leadership lecture number 5 open. International President, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, International Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Aleta Roshed, Region Advisors, Distinguished Toastmaster Ali Shabas Ali, Sunil Kutaratil, Sandra Cooper, and James Edwards, District Program Quality Director Keith Allen, District Club Growth Director Manzoor Moideen, Past International Director Distinguished Toastmaster George Thomas, Immediate Past District Director Rajeshwar Sundarasan, Present Past District Division Area Leaders, dear members and guests from other districts. Good evening and welcome to our 5th of the Leadership Lecture Series. In March, when this deadly pandemic started to show its effects on our members, many of them confused about the uncertainty of their jobs, their future, their families. We as district directors were worried. We met and discussed what we can do to motivate them. Hence this idea about lectures by our past international presidents came up from our immediate past district director, Distinguished Toastmaster Rajeshwar Sundareshan. I was assigned to take care of this particular project, but I was thinking where to start from. And then I thought, why not ask the topmost person whom I know, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. When I reached out to him, he directed me to talk to Mr. Jonathan of World Headquarters, which I did. And Mr. Jonathan was very promptly, he gave me the details about the 4 past international presidents whom I had asked for. And we contacted them, and then we had the 4 beautiful lectures. We were fortunate to listen to the wise words from those leaders. Recently, when I did a survey on our members, a random survey, to find out the impact of these leadership lectures we had, we were very happy to note that this has had a very positive impact on our members. They are confident and they are optimistic. And this is actually showing off in our membership drive as well. Because at one stage, we were really worried whether our district will become even a distinguished district, only for the membership payments. We were very well placed for the distinguished clubs, as well as very well placed for the paid clubs. But in the membership, we were lagging very badly. But now I'm happy to say that our district has become select distinguished district now, and we are moving forward, inching very close to President Distinguished District, which hopefully will happen within a week's time. And if everything goes well as our plan, by June 15th or 20th, our district should become a Smedley Distinguished District, which is our ultimate goal is, which was set in the beginning of the year in July 2019. But all this COVID really unsettled a little bit, but we are back on track. So this is the impact of a series like this. I'm sure all of us are looking forward for the final or the 5th edition today, which is again where I started from. And we are fortunate to have our current international president, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, to tell us his experience, his suggestions on what to do in this kind of a scenarios. On behalf of District 116, I welcome our International President, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, to deliver a speech. May I request MC to continue with the formal introduction of Deepak Menon. Back to you, MC Lubaba.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghavan. You was worried how to motivate us. Then you came out with this great action, having this session. Thank you. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the man with the vision, the immediate past District 116 Director, not other than Distinguished Toastmaster Rajeshwar Sundareshan, to introduce our Toastmasters International President. The screen is yours.
Thank you for the nice words. Good evening, and for different parts of the world, salutations. My welcome to all of you. District 116 Qatar's annual Toastmasters Conference, Day 2, with annual council meeting to follow, is all about leadership, strategy, and action plans that will scale up our success and sustainability of our district. It can't get better than this today. Our dignitary speaker is someone exceptional, the one who heads the global think tank and is the topmost leader and is the incumbent international president of Toastmasters International, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. I searched Deepak Menon, Deepak International President's profile in Google, but I found there was plenty to pick up. To just set the background right, to get to people who probably not gone through a Toastmaster website or not Googled him before. One of the Toastmasters' greatest success stories in the recent years has been the dramatic growth of Toastmasters in India. Distinguished Toastmaster Menon has played a vital role in that phenomenal success story. From a handful of clubs to, I think, probably around 900 clubs, and a single district in 2006 to 4 districts currently, India and Sri Lanka is one of the topmost districts. And Menon played important role. Further, Distinguished Toastmaster Menon's home district, 82, that is India and Sri Lanka, was ranked #1 Toastmasters districts in the world for 4 successive years, including the year 2009 and 2010, when Menon was district governor. During that year, that district added 75 new clubs, and that's a Toastmasters world record. When I was introduced early, many times they say that world's #1 district director. So that district has won 4 successively years as world's #1 district. During an interview with DTM Menon, he said, District 82's legacy was not built by its leaders, but by its members. As you know, that is something he said that as you would have deciphered, our international president is a compassionate communicator and a strong advocate of member opportunities and club excellence. So he gave that credit to the members at large who contributed to the success of the district. International President is the right man at the right place at the right time to handle the current crisis in the world, in the Toastmasters world particularly. His communication since the crisis is precisely articulated. I've gone through all his communications, and it's profoundly insightful and very positively placed. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm greatly honored and immensely fortunate to introduce our Toastmasters International President, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, for the leadership lecture with the title, Why Do We Do What We Do? Over to you, sir. Mr. Deepak Menon, DTM Deepak Menon, over to you.
Sir, you are muted. Can you unmute yourself?
Oh, yes, that's fine.
I've just been able to unmute myself. Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Rajeshwar Sundaresan, for those extremely kind words. I don't know whether I deserve most of what you spoke about me, but thank you for having me here when Distinguished Toastmaster, our District Director, Raghavan Menon, invited me to attend this lecture. I completely and absolutely agreed to attend this event and participate in this series that Raghavan initiated some time back. Indeed, in this time of the pandemic, as we're facing this crisis, this is a fantastic initiative that District 116 has initiated and has now reached its culmination. I would like to congratulate all of you for having already achieved Select Distinguished status. This is an absolutely fantastic achievement. Not only have you achieved Select Distinguished status, I noticed that you have almost 85% of your clubs distinguished or better already, which means that you're heading for almost 100% or more clubs in your district being distinguished by the 30th of June. This is a phenomenal achievement, which cannot be surpassed by most districts in the world. So I congratulate you for focusing on the members, focusing on your clubs, making sure that they're imparting the best quality that they possibly can to serve our members. As leaders, as members, we're all working together in this time of crisis to ensure that we provide the best benefit to our members. I am certain that when this pandemic hit, there was a lot of confusion, there were a lot of challenges and obstacles, but you leaders decided that you would like to do something to ensure that you could meet this head on. You did not despair, but you ensured that you would keep going. And there are times in our leadership journey that we wonder, what are we doing? Why are we serving in our leadership positions? Whether it's at the club level or at the district level or even beyond the district level. Why do we spend all our time in rendering the service? And what do we receive in return? We only receive appreciation, we receive applause, and that's about it. We don't earn any rupee, dollar, dinar. We don't receive any currency for the services that we render. So why do we do what we do? And this was a question that had been puzzling me for a while. And until I visited California in January 2020, I was still looking for an answer. But I found that answer in District 33 in Goleta in Santa Barbara, California. This was a TLI which had been organized by District 33, and I was there for a day-long event for that district. The following day, a Sunday morning, there were many of the attendees who remained behind, and they wanted to have breakfast with me. So I sat with them. There were about 20 of such members who had stayed back, and we were chatting, and in that midst of our conversation, there was a gentleman sitting to my left, and I turned to him and I started asking him about what was his journey in Toastmasters about, how has he performed, when had he joined? This comes naturally to us, right? When we see another Toastmaster we're not familiar with, the first question we ask is, so how long have you been a member? What brought you to Toastmasters? And this gentleman, he introduced himself, his name, Adams Frank. Adams told me that he had been a Toastmaster for about 8 years. And then he told me a little bit about himself. He's currently in his mid-30s. So when he joined Toastmasters, he was about 26, 27 years old. And he told me that he was a very successful person. As a youngster, he had done very well for himself in his education. He was an engineer by profession, and he had scored top scores in his college, university, and had moved on to take up a great job. Everything seemed to be going really well for him until one day he lost his job. That was the first time that he had encountered failure in his life. He told me that he felt so depressed, so dejected, in such despair and despondency, that he decided that he would not meet anybody. He became a recluse. He went to his home, he locked himself into his room and would refuse to come out for anybody, for any reason whatsoever. Things had gone to such a downward spiral that one day his mother knocked on his door and said, Adams, what are you doing to yourself? Go out, go meet somebody, go get your life back. But Adams did not pay heed to his mother. And then his mother suggested, Adams, why don't you go to a Toastmasters meeting? Perhaps that will help you. Perhaps you might see some light there. That kind of clicked because Adams had heard about Toastmasters. He knew a couple of friends who were members in Toastmasters. He looked up the website and he found a club close to his house where he knew one of his friends was a member. He visited that club meeting as a guest. He did not see his friend that day, but he said he really was happy with the supportive environment that was there. He sat in a corner, did not speak a word during the meeting, did not really talk with anybody. He just watched. and he liked what he saw. And so the next meeting, he came back as a guest. And then he did the third meeting as well. And then finally, the fourth meeting, he joined as a member. He tells me that after he joined, he still remained silent. He still continued to listen and observe. But slowly, he seemed to be gaining in confidence. That confidence that he had lost seemed to be coming back to him. He seemed to be overcoming the depression that he had been in. And he looked forward to attending Toastmasters meetings thereafter. Slowly, he got integrated into the club. He started taking on the smaller roles, and he started doing his speeches. And in a year's time, he had gained back all his lost confidence. He was now sure of himself, so sure that he decided to start interviewing again. And he told me of this particular situation when he went for a job interview. The interviewer told him, look, Adams, I have to just to check a box, and that's the reason you've been invited to attend this interview. The candidate has already been pre-selected. So I'm going to spend only 10 minutes with you just to ensure that I'm completing the formalities. Well, Adams really had nothing to lose, so he said, sure, I'm fine with that. The interview started, 10 minutes went by, half an hour went by, 1 hour went by. And when the interview finally ended, it was 90 minutes in. And the interviewer offered the job to Adams. That was the amount of confidence that Adams had gained through the Toastmasters experience that he had lived through. And he credits it all to, as I said, Toastmasters. Today, 8 years after he joined Toastmasters, Adams is a very happy, confident, successful young man. He has not only become successful outside Toastmasters, but he's successful in Toastmasters too. He's taken up leadership positions in Toastmasters, and currently he's serving as an area director in District 33. My friends, there are many such examples and stories of people who have been impacted, whose lives have been touched, whose lives have been changed forever through the medium of Toastmasters, through this platform that we offer to people around the world in these 143 countries that we are in today. And that's the reason why we do what we do. We impact the lives of these people that we touch. We make sure that we offer them the opportunity of becoming better at whatever they're doing, improving their communication skills, leadership skills, confidence, and the variety of other life skills and competencies that they can gain through Toastmasters. If we know that this is why we are serving in the roles that we are, we will clearly understand the purpose that we are serving in, the purpose that we are fulfilling in these positions that we are. And in recompense, we're receiving the blessings of the hundreds and thousands of people whose lives we're able to touch and change. Clearly, we need more motivation to continue to serve if this motivation were not enough. I have been inspired by a book by an author named Daniel Pink. Daniel Pink wrote a book titled Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. And in his book, Daniel Pink talks about 3 things, according to him, that are motivational factors for people around the world. These 3 factors are purpose, autonomy, and mastery. Daniel Pink says, we all must have a purpose. If there is a clarity of purpose in our minds about what we want to do, we will be motivated by it. And it does not matter what we're earning out of it, but if the purpose is clear, if we have the dedication and the commitment to follow through on that purpose, we will feel motivated. Our purpose in Toastmasters is not just to learn and grow and achieve, but also to give back, to ensure that we're able to make every single member feel supported and feel part of this family, this community, and feel that they have this support structure available to them, so that even if they fail, we are going to be able to lift them back up and they can feel proud about belonging to this family. So our purpose in Toastmasters is clear. Do we have autonomy in Toastmasters? Well, some might say no, because we have the governing documents that decide what we can do and to what extent we can do and what is it that we cannot. But at the same time, there is plenty of autonomy available in the variety of roles that we perform, whether it's in the clubs or in the districts or otherwise. Yes, in the clubs. Club officers, you're free to conduct your meetings the way you want, as long as you have the three main items in your agenda, which is prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluations. How you conduct the rest of your meeting, how you can bring in innovation, how you can ensure you can make the meetings more enjoyable and interesting is up to you. You have the autonomy to do as you wish to make your members more engaged, to make your members feel wanted, to ensure that they desire to continue and stay on with Toastmasters. So you have the autonomy to do so. And when we have autonomy, we feel motivated. As district leaders, again, we have complete autonomy to create strategies for success. You have strategized in your district to have these leadership lectures. This is not mandated by Toastmasters International, but this is not denied by Toastmasters International either. This is an autonomous activity that you as district leaders have decided that you are going to perform in your district. And kudos to you for doing so. So there is plenty of autonomy available in Toastmasters, and that becomes a motivating factor as well. We have the opportunity to gain mastery in everything that we do. As leaders, we learn from the mistakes that we've experienced, the mistakes that we may have committed, or mistakes that others have committed. And we continue to gain through that experience, through that knowledge, and keep improving. We keep learning as we go along. As speakers, when we perform in our clubs, we get feedback. And we continue to improve, we continue to incorporate all that we learn in our feedback to gain the skills that we want and move towards excellence. That's only offered by Toastmasters. The ability to try and master, to become excellence, to become excellent. Excellence is something that we can all strive for. But of course, it's impossible to achieve excellence. But we can always go towards excellence. We can always travel towards achieving excellence. And that's what is available to us in Toastmasters. Excellence is part of our core values as well. You all, I'm sure, remember the core values of Toastmasters: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And excellence is indeed a core for the way we must work through our programs, through everything that we do, so that we are providing the highest quality experience to our members. And at the same time, ensuring that we gain the highest skills possible through this platform. To the three motivating factors that Daniel Pink has talked about: purpose, autonomy, and mastery, I would like to add a fourth, and that's passion. If you have the passion for the purpose that you are motivated by, you will certainly succeed in achieving all that you want. The passion burning bright in you will make you stay firm to the paths that you have chosen for yourself. Ensure that you will not deviate from that path. So have passion for everything that you do. And with that passion, ensure that you are successful. In this time of the pandemic, as we're struggling to find our feet, to ensure that we're able to cope with whatever the situation is, we must remember 5 C's. And these work very well with the motivating factors that Daniel Pink has written about. So these 5 C's, what are these 5 C's that I want to share with you? The first C is courage. Have courage to be able to face this situation. If you have courage, you can surmount any obstacle that you encounter. You will be able to ensure that you're resilient from any challenges that you face. You will be able to bounce back and be able to return back to your days of glory. District 116 has already demonstrated by achieving the Select Distinguished District status. And as the District Director, Raghavan Menon, mentioned earlier, you're aiming and continuing to aim to become Met Least Distinguished. There are few districts in the world which are still continuing to aim at that achievement, but you're still continuing to do it. Clearly, you have the courage to face the situation and go beyond the ordinary to become extraordinary in your quest, in the courage that you're demonstrating. You need to have clarity in your vision, clarity in your goals, clarity in communicating that purpose that you have. If you have a clear vision of where you're going, what you want to do, whether it's in this year or it's in the subsequent years, you are surely going to be able to achieve, because you're going to be able to communicate that to your teams more effectively. So clarity of vision, communicated with clarity to your team, will ensure that you're able to achieve all that you set out for yourselves, especially in this time of crisis. You need to stay calm and composed, irrespective of whatever challenges that you face. If you remain calm, if you do not get confused with what you're facing, if you don't get agitated, you will be able to take decisions in that calm manner, in a composed attitude, and you will certainly be successful leaders. This is true whether there is a crisis or there is not a crisis. Even in normal times, you need to stay focused, you need to stay calm, you need to stay composed to be able to face any situation that you are in at any given moment of time. What then is the 4th C? You need to have compassion. Compassion for your fellow human beings. We're all in this together. We are all facing the challenges that this pandemic has forced on us. We have to rethink the way we do whatever we are doing. And we need to be empathetic about the challenges that our fellow human beings, our fellow leaders, our fellow members are facing as well. If we provide an active listening ear, not just listen to the words that are spoken, but also look at the non-verbal language that's used. Look at the facial expressions. Hear what remains unsaid. You can be compassionate and empathetic towards the people that you see around you. And then certainly you will be looked upon as a role model, as a person who listens, who feels, who's empathetic. And the final C, that is, you need to be creative. In this time of crisis, creativity comes to the fore. We have been able to change the way Toastmasters works around the world. As the pandemic hit us, we realized that we'll have to find different ways of being able to engage our members. And the online format, the online platform has come to be of great service to our members, to all of us around the world. Not only have we been able to offer this to our clubs, but our clubs have gone beyond what was just available to invite their own club members to their club meetings, but they've invited the entire world to come and attend their world meetings. their own club meetings. Recently, I attended a meeting organized by a couple of people, which was titled One Country, One World. There were 70 people who participated in that meeting, all from 70 different countries. I was a general evaluator in that meeting, and there were role players, every single one of them from a different country. Every speaker was from a different country. All the table topic speeches were presented by people from different countries. It was a fascinating experience. It almost seemed to be like a mini international convention, seeing so many people connected to that one Toastmasters meeting. Indeed, we have been very creative in the way we have worked through the challenges that we are facing. And I hope that you will continue to be creative in finding the ways that you can overcome your challenges and find ways in which you can meet the needs of your members and become the best that you possibly can. So remember to have a clear purpose. Enjoy the autonomy that you have in Toastmasters and stay motivated by remembering to master, to seek excellence. Remember the 5 C's. Make sure you have the courage. Make sure you have clarity in the purpose, in your vision, in your communication. Ensure that you stay calm and composed as you work through this crisis. Have compassion for the human beings, for the people, for your members, and be empathetic towards them. And finally, be creative. If you're able to do that, you can be very successful as leaders, and you will know why is it you do what you do. Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, since the moment you start speaking, honestly, I took a paper and a pen. I was so passionate to write an inspiring sentence, but then guess what? It was a fool. But honestly, one of your inspirational messages is confidence we lost somewhere. We definitely get it back here in Toastmasters. With success, with relationships, with skills. But not only that, by remembering the 5 C's, we also make an impact. We make difference. Many thanks to the true leader, our Toastmaster International President, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, for your wonderful and inspiring speech about leadership. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me now invite the past International Director, distinguished Toastmaster George Thomas, to handle the Q&A session. Toastmaster Thomas, the screen is yours.
Hi, Deepak.
Hi, George. How are you?
Good. Thank you very much for a thought-provoking speech. I'm sure all of us have been gained tremendously with your inputs. I have some questions sent by the members while you were speaking. So I'll be selecting some of them and asking you to respond to it.
Thank you.
The first one is, mastery is created one brush stroke at a time. Please mention 2 of your strokes which made you a master. You're muted, I think, Deepak.
Unmute myself.
Yeah, please. Again, muted. Gone back to mute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess our organizers are very quick in muting everybody. So I got muted and I could unmute myself. Thank you for that question. I don't think that I've mastered anything yet. I'm still trying to become a master at everything that I do. And I don't ever think that I'll become a master of anything. I can focus towards achieving mastery. I have continued to be on the learning curve, as they say. From the time I've joined Toastmasters, I've continued to grow and learn. Even in my capacity as the international president, I keep learning new things every day. this entire pandemic has changed the way that we have had to function, that the board has had to function. And the board has had to be very nimble and adapt to the situation very quickly. I have our international director, Aleta Rocha, in this meeting today, and I'm sure she will attest that we've had to live through very interesting times. This is not what I had signed up for as international president, but clearly we have to work with the change times and we have to find solutions. And I think I'm slowly gaining mastery over the situation, but I can never say that I've become the master.
Okay, thank you, Deepak. Next question. What kind of permanent and sustainable change coming out of COVID for Toastmasters? How do you see the future of Toastmasters?
I see a brilliant future for Toastmasters. I think our members have proven that no challenges are big enough or are insurmountable. As hundreds and thousands of our members across the world have started engaging online, they have found new confidence in this platform. Many of our members who were shying away from pathways, from adopting pathways, in this new format, in the way that we're now having our meetings, have become more confident about taking on pathways as well. Yes, we will hit a new normal soon. Hopefully this pandemic will soon pass us by and we will be able to resume our lives the way they were. But I foresee that even in the times to come, we will continue to be cautious. We will continue to maintain social distancing. We may have to continue wearing masks in public for some perhaps months or years. I really cannot predict what will happen. And as a result, we may still have some of our members who are not confident about joining in-person meetings, and they may still continue to wish for joining meetings virtually. And so a lot of our clubs may have to turn into hybrid clubs, offering the opportunity to their members to meet virtually as well, even in these meetings which are going to be in person. And Toastmasters International allows such hybrid clubs where a majority of the members meet in person, but allow those who wish to join virtually to do so as well. And I see that that may be the future that we're looking at in Toastmasters as well. So interesting times are ahead. I cannot predict what might happen 6 months later, forget about years later. But we are ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow.
Thank you, Deepak. Next question. I believe you have done DTM 6 times. What is the motivation, or what was the motivation?
Thank you, George, for that question, or whoever asked that question. The motivation to continue growing and achieving through the forum of Toastmasters was what prompted me to continue on my DTM journey multiple times. Each time I completed a DTM and started my next journey, I tried to ensure that I made it more tough for myself. I was making sure that I was able to achieve or work towards achieving excellence. I don't think I have yet, but each time that I attempted a DTM, I was able to improve on what I had done until that point in time. And that's what really continued me on that journey, that prompted me to continue 6 times around. I have not had the time to go on to the 7th time. Hopefully, once I'm done with my role on the board of directors, I will get back to trying to, again, continue my journey as a speaker and as a leader in Toastmasters at the club level.
Thank you, Deepak. How do you see the prospect of Toastmasters post-COVID period? It's almost the same, you had an answer, but it's in a different way.
I think I don't want to repeat myself. I think I'd rather have somebody else or some other question in this limited time.
Okay, I'll ask another question. this, I'm not sure whether you will answer it, but it is from a contestant. Can we change the rule and start sharing judges' ballot and their remarks with the contestants without mentioning the names of the judges, only to the contestant, between the contestant and the judges?
Thank you. That's an interesting suggestion. I would recommend that this gentleman or this lady, whoever has asked this question, to send a note to World Headquarters, to the speech contest team at World Headquarters. And perhaps they may take that into consideration when there are changes made the next time. But there are no promises that that will happen, but it's a good, interesting suggestion.
At least an interesting suggestion. Yes, it can be taken forward. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you, Deepak.
MC Lubaba.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Thomas, and thank you, our distinguished Toastmaster Deepak. Actually, one of the answers that really inspired me is that about, mashallah, about having 6 DTMs. And the thing is that DTM, or this degree, is not the end. The thing is that, or the whole purpose is about continuity, because all what we do is, it's just a skill, and a skill won't grow if you stop doing what you're doing. So it's not the end of it. Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, everyone, for the session. And let's now for the vote of thanks. Fellow Toastmasters, we have International Director, Region Advisors from our region attending the sessions. We have here the past Region Advisor, Distinguished Toastmaster, past Regi. We have Region Advisor, Distinguished Toastmaster, Sonny. Please join me in the screen for the vote of thanks. The screen is yours.
Hello.
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
My video is off. Is my video off, Venkat?
No, you're on, Sunny.
We can see you. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
Our International President Deepak and all of the international officers, district officers, dear friends. We have a legacy. We were part of GTC, Gulf Toastmasters Council, the Territorial Council. Then we became 79P, then we became 79, then we became 116. The legacy what I am referring is, we were always number 1. As we started District 79, the first year itself, we were number 1 in the world. And when we became 116, again, the first year itself, we were number 1 in the world. We have some fantastic leaders in our district and great speakers too. And I really congratulate the present trio, and they have been doing a fantastic job. And I am sure that they will, this year also, they will not only become select distinguished, I hope they continue to become number 1 in the world. And thank you very much. And thanks Deepak for coming and giving us a wonderful speech from you. Over to you.
MC Lubaba.
Lubaba is not there. May I invite Sunil Kutaratil, our region advisor, for saying a few words from you. Sunil, please come in. Venkat, can you unmute him if he is muted?
I'm sending him a request. He's not responding.
Sunil, can you hear me? Please.
We have DTM Ali Zabas Ali is here.
Yes, then we'll start with Ali. Then Ali, can you say a few words about this event?
DD Raghavan, am I audible?
Yes, you are. You can put your video on if you wish. Yes, very good.
Hello, everybody. Our International President Deepak Menon, our district leaders DD Raghavan, PQD Tayalan, and our CGD Mansoor, and all our past district leaders, my good old friend Sunny Vargas, George Thomas, Rajeshwar Sundaram, I see you all. Currently, while I'm talking to you, the plight of region advisors are, I am right now in 3 district conferences. So I feel more like a DJ with instruments around me. My message to everybody today in District 116 Qatar is, you see, if we didn't have these storms, if the sea was very silent, we wouldn't have skillful trainers around us or skillful sailors around us. And with all these storms, what we experienced in the world of Toastmasters or anyway, globally, we learned some new skills, definitely. And I see a big opportunity in more learnings. If we didn't have the pandemic around us, we wouldn't have International President of Toastmasters coming and addressing us. And that's itself, it's an amazing opportunity. We wouldn't have the leadership series. We wouldn't have Balraj coming in. We wouldn't have past leaders, champions coming in. It's so easy to get inspired nowadays. But the easy it is, it's always hard to apply. We should take that challenge to take all these inspirations and apply them in not just in our Toastmasters life, in our professional and personal life. So fellow Toastmasters, leaders of District 116, you keep inspiring us, keep going on full steam ahead. I look forward to celebrate Smedley Distinguished with you if it is possible, but all the efforts what you're doing, it's simply wonderful. Thank you for having me here. Over to you. Over to you. Good friends.
Thank you, Region Advisor Ali. Baba, you're back. Okay, please take over.
I'm back again. Thank you, Toastmaster Raghavan. So, District Director, and thank you, Toastmaster Ali, for your words. District Director, is there any other felicitation?
Yes, we do have our other region advisor, Distinguished Toastmaster Sunil Kotaratil. Sunil, you can invite him.
Yes, so let's have our Toastmaster Sunil to be on the screen.
No, we don't have a Sunil here in this meeting room now.
Oh, is he? Oh, he was there. Okay, maybe he's left. Is International Director Alita there? I can't see her,
No,
but
she's not here.
she's not there. Okay. Yeah. So I think the dignitaries are, that's all I can think about. That's it. I think who want Malini, DTM Malini, you would like to say something? DTM Malini? She's not there, I think. Okay. All right. So I think that's it. And we can. Rajeshwar, you have any suggestion? Anybody else I have missed out? Any dignitaries?
No, I checked. I couldn't find anyone. Yes.
All right. All right. But all I can say, this is a record attendance we have today. We had touched 250. So that is a remarkable presence of our people who are interested to listen to our International President Deepak Menon. That's a great thing. I'm sure more people will be motivated. and this will definitely reflect on our memberships and our our route to this medley distinguished district is much closer now. The way it is going, I'm glad. I think we will, Lubaba, you can take over. I think we'll close the meeting. Should we extend the question answer if there are some question answer?
Toastmaster Thomas, if there is anything up in the sky?
Just 1 minute, because there's a lot of questions which is like duplicate, that is the reason why not been able to ask.
As per this, we have about 10 minutes left. If you want to, we can continue. I can see Dunstan. Dunstan, are you still there? Our past region advisor, Dunstan Mukalish, is there. Dunstan, are you there? She's come all the way from Africa, so.
I've sent her the request. I've sent her the request. Maybe she will come.
Yeah.
Hello.
Dunstan,
Hello, everyone, Mr. International President.
Yes.
I am really very pleased to be among you. It's a pity I have to leave because I'm starting another meeting in a few minutes, in 1 minute. But I really enjoyed your talk. And I think this is the time for us to listen to the 5 C's because we need that right now in life. I'm happy to be present with our amazing District 116, #1 in the world when I was the RA. Thank you for inviting me, and I wish you continued success and hope to see you again as #1 in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dunstan, for your kind words. We really need your motivation, like what we did last year. The same way I'm sure we'll achieve what we want to achieve. Thank you. Lubaba, you can go.
All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Raghavan, for taking over. And thank you, everyone. Toastmaster Thomas, if there is any question that is popping up, you just tell me.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a very ordinary question for Deepak, but let me ask.
All right. Here we go.
Have you ever received an evaluation which put you down? And how did you recover from that?
Of course, there are times when an evaluator provides you feedback that sometimes you're not in agreement with. But then I've always considered that the evaluations that I receive are from the perspective of that particular person. Now it's up to me whether I take that seriously, not seriously, incorporate it or don't incorporate it. But I have always remembered not to get hurt. My feelings are not glass that can be shattered by what somebody speaks of in his or her evaluation for me. As long as I have confidence in myself. And it's up to me what I incorporate and what I don't. I, actually speaking, do not remember any occasion where I felt that an evaluation was so bad or such that it hurt me or destroyed my self-esteem, though I have witnessed such evaluations for other speakers, which have actually damaged the self-esteem of our members, of some of our members who have been ready to leave the organization. In fact, I know of one person who actually quit Toastmasters because of a bad feedback, and one who was willing to quit but stayed on and then went on to become a district governor. So evaluations can really make or break a Toastmaster's ego, self-esteem, and confidence. And we need to be extremely tactful and careful in the way we use our words to provide that feedback, because we need to motivate and not destroy.
Thank you, Deepak. Another question. How did your journey in Toastmasters start and progress from there to being an international president?
Thank you. That's a very interesting question. That's actually for a different session altogether. Because, I do a keynote speech which is titled Life Lessons Learned. And I talk about the lessons that I've started learning in Toastmasters, which no school, college, or university teaches. And that's started from the time I joined Toastmasters. Honestly speaking, I didn't want to join Toastmasters. when I was first approached and told about Toastmasters way back in 2002, and then at that time there was only this one club in New Delhi, the Toastmasters Club of New Delhi, I felt it wasn't really a place that I'd like to go to attend, because all I was told was this will help me improve my communication skills. And I thought I was great at communications. I didn't need any improvement. But the gentleman who had introduced me to Toastmasters kept persisting, and I finally went to the club only with the intention of saying no after having attended it. But attending the meeting, I realized that I lacked confidence, and especially confidence in speaking before an audience. And actually, the straw that broke the camel's back was when the R counter in that meeting announced, when I had performed as a table topic speaker, that I had 27 fillers in the 1 minute that I did not speak, that I realized that I needed to be a Toastmaster. And I joined Toastmasters not with the intention that I would one day become international president. At that time, I didn't even know that there was a board of directors, let alone international president. But I joined to improve my skills, to become more confident. And I've continued with Toastmasters because at every step of the way, I have gained skills that I had not bargained for. And I would like to reiterate the words of our first lady international president, Helen Blanchard, who has said, if you can get from Toastmasters all that you can get from Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Deepak. Next question. What is next for Deepak, either inside or outside Toastmasters?
Well, the next step will be immediate past international president. I will continue to be on the board of directors for another 1 year. And then I will say goodbye for forever to the board of directors. I will never ever become eligible to be a part of the board of directors again. And that's fantastic, because I've been now on the board of directors since 2013, first as international director and then as an international officer. So I think I've served enough by the end of the time that I've finished my journey as a board member. But I'm looking back to becoming a POT, which is a plain ordinary Toastmaster. And going back to my club meetings, enjoying the camaraderie of my club, enjoying the fraternity, doing my speeches, becoming a timer, R counter, and grammarian once again, and doing everything that I enjoyed doing when I was just a plain ordinary Toastmaster.
Great, Deepak, great answer. Formula for the future is something we hear from you often. What is the formula for the future under the present circumstances?
I think those 5 C's that I talked about today are the formula for the future. The formula to live our lives better, to ensure that we're able to be better leaders in Toastmasters. In my opinion, courage is something we need all the time. The courage to be able to face any kind of challenge situation that we face. Unexpected things happen. We didn't expect a pandemic to strike us at this point in time in the world, but we have to face these challenges with courage and confidence. And Toastmasters is the forum that teaches us this formula for success and ensure that we are ready to cope with any situation possible.
Thank you, Deepak. I think that will come to the end of the questions for you. I hand you back to the Master of Ceremonies, Lubaba.
George, before we hand over to our MC,
yeah,
I'd like to say that I have enjoyed this interaction with all of you here today. I enjoyed speaking to you, enjoyed the questions that you asked. Remember the 5 C's, remember that Toastmasters gives us an opportunity to learn life lessons, lessons that we don't learn elsewhere. Continue to stay engaged with Toastmasters because you learn skills and competencies that nobody else teaches. It is in fact even more than an MBA school. Mr. District Director.
Thank you, Deepak. I just want to ask one question from my side. Let me ask you, because there is time available. Today, we are having a council meeting and the election for the new leaders. So do you have any advice to the new incoming leaders? Because they are going to continue in a very challenging year, probably one of the challenging years of the century. So what special care or attention they need to take to continue their leadership?
Thank you for that question. I thought we were done with questions, but there's another one that's come.
No, the last one I thought, let me
no worries at all. No worries at all. I'd be happy to share my perspective about what these new leaders should do. Share with them these 5 C's that I talked about today, but also remind them about the core values of Toastmasters: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. As long as every decision we take are bounded by, are formed based on these core values, we will not go wrong. We will ensure that we'll do the right thing at the right time. Ensure that we provide the service that is necessary to our members. Stay focused on our members. Ensure that you're providing the highest quality of service to these members, because they're looking up to you to be the role models. Ensure that not only do you talk the walk, but you also walk the talk. Ensure that you serve as a person who everybody looks up to, and then you ensure that you're doing all that you're speaking. So not only show the way, but also know the way and go the way.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, International President. With that, we'll hand over to Lubaba, the MC, to do the final wind-up. Lubaba, can you come? Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster. And I believe as an MC, I still have a small right of asking a small question to Mr. President. All right. You have this so many years in Toastmasters since 2002. With this so many years in Toastmasters, how do you stay fresh? How do you stay new? How could you not repeat yourself, not repeat your motivational speeches, your evaluation? How you could not repeat yourself?
I continue to reinvent myself every day. I find new ways to deal with situations. I find new ways to motivate and inspire. And I try to ensure that I don't become stale. So I have been, in this last 1 month, I have visited, I think, 10 different districts. I've delivered keynotes, I've done educational workshops. I have repeated some of them, but each time I speak, I add different things to it. So I keep myself interested and focused in ensuring that I'm not getting bored about speaking. But what I really love and enjoy is interacting with people. That's what keeps me motivated, keeps me fresh. And everybody has a different perspective to share. All these questions that I was asked today were not questions that I've been asked before. The question that you've just posed is the first time that somebody has posed that question to me. And so I've been pondering about your question, and I know that I remain fresh because of the people around me, because of the people that I interact with and who inspire me to be better than I can possibly be. Thank you for your question, MC.
What a wonderful answer. I couldn't think of any other better one. Thank you, President of Toastmaster International and Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, for this wonderful session. To be honest, I don't want this to be end, but here we are for the end of the session. Let us now invite our Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Manzoor Moideen, for the word of thanks. Toastmaster Manzoor, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lubaba. And before I begin proposing vote of thanks, I request all of you who are planning to leave now to stay back for 2 reasons. One, I'm going to take your name towards the end of my speech. Reason number 2, we'll have a picture clicked with our International President of Toastmasters International, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. Now, our District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Raghavan Menon, is a dreamer. Now, he not only dreams, he strives his best to accomplish and have his dreams come true. And one of his dreams at the beginning of this term was to have our International President, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, at our DTAC that was to happen in April at the College of North Atlantic. But misfortune, Deepak's schedule was already fixed and was clashing with our dates. But as Paulo Coelho says, if you really want to achieve something, the entire universe will conspire and ensure that your dream is achieved. Not just the universe, even the COVID will help you achieve that. And that's a proof. We have got our International President, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, with us today, addressing over 250 people. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us. Well, your name depicts lamp that emits light, and you've enlightened every one of us with your wise thoughts. Thank you so much for being with us and enlightening and inspiring each one of us. Now, when we have special and important people like our International President, it's very obvious that we'll have more and more important and special persons attending the event and looking forward to listen to you. We had our International Director, Alita Rocha, our Regional Advisors, Ali Shahbaz Ali, Sandra Cooper, Sunil Kotarathil, James. We had District 74 Director, Nikki Quinn, District 20 Director, Wafat Salman, past International Director, Josh Thomas, who also hosted the first hand session, past Regional Advisor and Brand Ambassador, DTM Sunny Varghese, and many more to witness and listen to you, sir. I'd like to thank all those dignitaries who were with us through the meeting and still with us. I'd also like to propose special appreciation to all the leaders, members from around the world who have been with us, listening to you and attending this leadership series talk. I'd like to especially congratulate and thank our Master of Ceremony, Lubaba, the Chief Host, our PR Manager, District PR Manager, Toastmaster Venkat. Now, I said, I'm going to take your name. Well, let me on behalf of District 116 thank each one of you who attended, who has their names starting with A to Z. A special thanks to each one of you. And on behalf of the District 116 and everyone who attended this event, a special gratitude and thanks to our International President, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. And finally, we can't forget to thank this brand, which has become the most prominent word most of us use in our day-to-day life. Thanks to Zoom. Thank you so much. Please stay for the photograph. Now with this, on behalf of our District Director, distinguished Toastmaster Raghavan Menon, I declare that this leadership series talk formally ends. Thank you. I think I missed to mention a name of a very important person who was behind these thought, our immediate past District Director, DTM Rajeshwar Sundaresan, who is also my personal mentor. Thank you so much. With that, we come to the end of the official meeting. Now, we don't want to unmute everyone at once, but if anyone would like to ask some question or have a quick chit chat with our distinguished leader, you may please send a message or raise your hand. Or I think, Venki, can we have the photograph now?
Can we request all of you to switch on your camera? Just a second. We have 4 pages. Just hold on. One by one, I will take. Okay, number 1. Let me save that. Okay. Here you go. Ready? Smile. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We've been a wonderful audience.
Yes, with you, Didi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. Now you all may be unmuted and you can probably share some thoughts with our international president if he's available. I mean, if he's got some time to spend with other members and can have a chat. Can you unmute all hosts?
Good evening, International President.
Yeah, yeah. Whoever would like to speak, they can unmute.
Sunil is there, Raghavan. Sunil. I can say Sunil.
Yeah, Sunil, how did we miss Sunil? I don't know. I invited him. He wasn't there that time.
Actually, I was too involved in it, so I didn't hear anything else.
Oh, really? I invited your name, but he didn't come on.
I was about to unmute another Sunil Kumar Menon. There was another Sunil.
Because our host said he sent a request to you, but you have not accepted it.
He replied me that I'm yet to be a region advisor. Don't switch on my camera.
You sent it to the wrong person. I'm sorry about that. All right. Yeah, Sunil, I'm sorry about that. Can you say something now? Our international president is still around.
Yeah, actually, really, thank you, International President DTM Deepak Menon, for this wonderful, motivating speech. In fact, I should thank District 116 for the timely introduction of this leadership lectures, because this surely has made an impact. The subject and how it's relevant at this time to motivate the members has been taken care perfectly by District 116 leaders, and all the hats off to you for that wonderful initiative.
Thank you, Sunil.
And I always believe excellence is never an accident. It's the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution, and the vision to see the obstacles as opportunities. When you see word by word of this code, we can correlate that to what District 116 is doing today. And I'm so proud of you team for taking this, and let us see that all this together will take District 116 again to #1 position in this world. Thank you so
for your motivating words, R.A. Sunil. I think Manjri has raised her hand. Venkat, can you unmute her, please? Manjri.
Thank you so much, DTM Raghavan. Yeah. Well, for the good evening all, and all that I want to say, I don't want to ask a question, but what I just want to say that for 3 years in Delhi, when I left ICC-1 Toastmasters in 2008, and I went to Delhi, I was a member, I joined TMND, and that is Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. And after that, when the Central Delhi Toastmasters, which is DTM Deepak Menon's home club, when that was chartered, I was one of the chartered members there also. And his passion and his concern and compassion, all the elements that he said, each and every tip, if I feel I am a leader today, it's only because of what I have learned from him. And what I really loved what he said, that after 1 year when I go back, I would love to be the Sergeant at Arms. I would love to be the TMOD. I would love to be an evaluator. That is a true hallmark of a wonderful leader. Thank you so much, DTM Menon, to show us the way. Thank you.
Malini Sani has raised her hands. You can unmute her. But with that, we will wind up this session because we have a council meeting starting another 5 to 10 minutes. So people are already started in. So we'll make this as a last question, please. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. Good evening, Deepak in particular. When I met you at Malaysia, what really struck me about you was, in spite of being a well-known person, you were so humble, so simple, so easy to interact with. And I think that is something we should all pick up. And your session today, Deepak, I must say, was one of the best I've ever heard. It really gave us the essence of leadership, and especially the 5 C's are something which I'm going to take with me to be used in the future. And Toastmasters, I think more than speaking skills or leadership, I think what I've got from Toastmasters is 80% of my friends out here are all Toastmasters. And wherever I go, I get to meet them, and it's such a pleasure. Thank you, Deepak, and we hope to hear more from you.
Thank you, Malini.
Thank you, Raghavan.
Yes, I think with that, we will wind up today's session. Thank you very much, International President Menon, to be with us. So we have a council meeting starting in the 10 minutes
Absolutely.
time. So we will have to, people are already coming. That's a different Zoom link. I understand people are already there waiting to enter. So the host here is the same host there. So he has to leave here, then only he can go there. So that
Absolutely.
is it. And it is a pleasure having you with us in Doha. If not in person, we could get you at least online. That's a great achievement. As I said, it was my dream that our international president visit when I'm the district director, which happened. And as Mansoor said, the Corona helped us to happen that. Thank you very much for
Thank
being
you,
with
sir.
us.
Actually, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Raghavan Menon is really excited to have Deepak Menon here. You don't want to leave this room.
Yeah, that's right.
And someone asked me,
Okay.
to my surprise, we had 6 other Deepaks attending today's session. I never saw these
Wonderful.
Deepaks in other leadership sessions.
There's actually an infection called the meningitis, because the international president is Menon, our
District director is Menon.
region advisor is Menon, and our district governor, district director is Menon. So a sort of meningitis is happening now.
For good. It's for good, Sunny.
Right.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me
so
here today. I've enjoyed every minute of being
you,
with
sir.
all of you. And thank you. You guys have been fantastic hosts. Take care. Enjoy the district council meeting. I hope you have great leadership for the forthcoming year.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak.
At least distinguished. Take care.
Nice
Bye.
meeting you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And good night.
Thank you, Deepak Menon. Thank you. Great hearing you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Deepak.